So I wanted to see what the hubbub was all about and went to see Megan last week at the cinema. It wasn't until I noticed quite a few children in the audience that I realized this was a PG-13 horror movie. I can imagine that the PG-13 rating is part of the reason Megan was such the sensation that it is, with the all-important tween market flocking into theaters to see the source of all of the TikTok dance videos inspired by the movie. Being a hardcore horror fan, I kind of groaned, but I also couldn't help but think that maybe this would inspire some youngster to become a hardcore horror fan when he or she grows up. So I sat back and tried to ignore the giggles and the constant movement coming from the crowd and tried to enjoy Megan. It's coming to On Demand this week, so it's as good a time as any to talk about it. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. Megan is new on-demand and digital download from Universal Pictures. It's directed by Gerard Johnstone and written by Akilah Cooper and James Wan. The Haunting of Hill House's Violet McGraw plays Katie, the sole survivor of a car crash where her parents lost their lives. Her aunt Gemma, played by Get Out's Allison Williams, isn't ready to be a parent, but is thrust into parenthood when Katie arrives. Gemma is busy working at a toy company, attempting to develop the next big thing in robotic toys, with her boss David, played by Ronnie Ching, on her back to get specs done for a new project. Gemma is more interested in a side project she has dubbed Megan, played by Amy Donald and voiced by Jenna Davis, a fully automated friend who imprints on its user and plays the part of a parent. Feeling the stress of being a new parent herself, Gemma uses Megan to help with the added burden of Katie in her life. But the doll works too well, and any threats to Katie is immediately taken care of by Megan in drastic and often deadly ways. While it's become a meme and a TikTok sensation, the Megan movie actually has heavier themes than the surface-level coverage this film has received. While these themes are going to fall upon deaf ears of the younger crowd, it conveys a strong message of how much modern parents rely on things like iPads, computers, and iPhones to raise their children, and the disastrous effects this can have on both the relationship between a parent and a child and the child's psyche itself. Sure, you can guffaw at the weird way Megan dances and the goofy 80s songs she sings to soothe Katie when she's upset, but it turns out this is a smarter film if you choose to look at it a little deeper. This is less of a story about how Katie copes with the loss of her parents as it is a story about how Gemma copes with the loss of her autonomy and accepts her new role as a parent. Allison Williams does a great job of conveying the irresponsible adult Gemma, who collects toys that aren't meant to be played with, is immediately alerted about her Tinder status when she enters her home by her Alexa device, and loves her life where she can spend hours in her home office/lab without a care for anything but herself. This story follows Gemma's path to growing up, something many modern parents simply have no care in doing. And while I doubt many will pay attention to the message that face-to-face interaction between a parent and a child is crucial to growing up, I commend Megan for trying to communicate it. Past that, Megan is basically the recent Child's Play remake without Aubrey Plaza to attract me all the way through. More accurately, if you're as old as me, you might remember a little movie called Deadly Friend by Wes Craven and starring Kristy Swanson. Like Chucky and Swanson's Samantha, Megan is Katie's friend till the end. She kills anyone who poses even the smallest threat to Katie. There's even a scene where the nosy neighbor is taken care of, as well as the school bully. I guess Deadly Friend was due for a remake, and gals might need a female killer doll anti-hero to emulate, but Megan neither tops nor adds to what these films have to offer. Well, I guess that's not true. The modern parenting moral is new, but the rest of the movie is simply Child's Playing with Deadly Friend. The acting is pretty strong, especially from Williams. I found child actor Violet McGraw to be less annoying during the quieter scenes, but she definitely gets a little grating when she's acting angry and out of control. The pair of gals playing Megan physically and vocally work, as there is some smooth yet robotic movements going on and a slight auto-tune to her voice, a combination which highlights the almost human but not quite so feel you get seeing the doll move and talk. Ronny Chieng offers up some very poorly acted scenes as Emma's boss. He's just not believable and seems extremely out of his depth compared to the rest of the cast. While I'm criticizing, there's a very speedy rush to the end with this, as Megan is taken care of pretty quickly in the climax, and more than a few subplots like the lab assistant who steals Megan's blueprints that are never addressed. But that might be intentional so it can lead to the inevitable sequel. And the police are especially dense in this film, overlooking the obvious in order for the plot to proceed. But hell, if that broke a movie, half the films in Hollywood would be in pieces. The dance is bizarre, as is the way Megan runs after her prey in the woods on all fours. There are some fun comic moments throughout involving the strange way Megan fails to cross that uncanny valley and look totally human, but still looks creepily close. A lot of that was revealed, unfortunately, in the trailer. I have to give it up to the film for not holding back on how ruthless Megan is played, but then again, the film is practically bloodless in order to attain that crucial PG-13 rating. Anything scary occurs simply because of that uncanny valley aspect and little else. Everything else is off camera. There's a rumor that a bloody R-rated cut is coming, so if you're a hardcore horror fan, it might be worth your while to wait for that. Otherwise, Megan was harmless horror with a strong central theme. It's great that new horror fans may be born from watching this film, but those of us who are already there won't find too much to cheer about in terms of scares or gore. A sequel has already been greenlit, so be prepared for more of this sinister small wonder. I'm not mad at Megan. It was fluffy horror entertainment, and there's a place for that in cinema right along with the gore, violence, and depravity I'm more attracted to. There's much dumber and much worse horror out there, so I'm giving Megan my recommendation. You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality. You're doomed. Oh, you're doomed. You're doomed. God doomed. Live the life that you are meant to live inside that we